72 days until the Summer Olympics in Japan, and tonight I'm taking you on a journey to Tokyo to see the world's busiest crosswalk. Wait till you see Shibuya Crossing. It is an amazing experience that we visited pre-pandemic. Welcome to Facebook Live inside the comfy confines of the Channel 13 studios. I'm Scott. We'll get with Angela in a moment on what has been a fantastic night here in downtown Indianapolis. The weather was nice. We had this beautiful celebration of life for former Pacers coach Bobby "Slick" Leonard inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We're going to talk about that coming up in a moment. Also, we're going to talk about the Colts schedule that just came out tonight. So Colts fans buzzing about some of the games that are going to be coming up in the upcoming NFL season. And in the big story tonight, in a moment, we'll be joined with Lauren Kostick, friend of the show. She's going to run down what parents need to know now that we are one step closer to being able to give the Pfizer vaccination to kids 12 and up. So all of that coming up here on Facebook Live. We're so glad that you're with us. Be sure to let us know where you're watching Facebook Live tonight. We'll give you a shout out over the next 15 minutes. So let's bring in Angela tonight. How's your night going?
Night's great. I'm with you. It was a really, really nice day.
Yeah. The sunshine today, I mean, it was beautiful outside.
It was. Still a little bit of a cool breeze.
Right.
I'd add a few degrees to it for my perfect day.
Right.
But I'm not ready for 80s yet in the month of May. So I'm okay with this nice gradual warm up.
Yeah, I'd like to see a 70 maybe at some point during the month of May, right?
Yes, and you know what? I've got some interesting stats about just how long it's been since we've had a 70-degree day, and I'll have those numbers for you at 11.
All right, that sounds good.
But it has been a while.
I know, and we've got the race coming up, and of course the Grand Prix coming up on Saturday, so it'll be interesting to for race fans to get your forecast coming up on 13 News at 11. All right, Colts schedule came out tonight. That's been a big topic of discussion tonight. Want to put on the screen at least a couple of the key dates. The season opener at Lucas Oil Stadium on September 12th. So Russell Wilson and the Seahawks coming into town. That's a really good season opener for the Colts. A couple of other games that are going to be noteworthy really for Colts fans. One that is not on the schedule there. It's a Monday night game, October 11th against the Baltimore Ravens. That's a road game. The reason that we are putting that game up on the board there because that game is the Colts at the 49ers. And then, of course, the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers coming into town on November 28th, so that's going to be big. Think there'll be any booing at that game, Angela, with Tom Brady coming in here?
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. And then the other big game that we wanted to put there on the screen, Christmas Day. It'll actually be a night game. Christmas night, the Colts will be on the road at the Arizona Cardinals. So the Colts basically get one Monday night game. It's on the road against the Ravens, and they get a Thursday night game against the Jets here at Lucas Oil Stadium. They get the Tampa Bay Bucks in town, and the bye week is week 14, which is pretty late.
That is late.
So we'll be interested in getting some Facebook feedback from our friends tonight in terms of the Colts schedule. You have any thoughts as you were taking a look at some of those games?
They all look like good games. I'm glad they get to open the season at home. It's always nice when that happens.
Right.
And I know it gets lots of people excited, but I never want to think about football season yet because that means we skip right over summer.
Good point. Well, and I think it's also, it's an opportunity, I think, for the NFL to get those tickets sold.
Sure.
Because the tickets go on sale, I think it's tomorrow. And so that's certainly one of the reasons the schedule came out tonight. Want to show you some live pictures, Angela, tonight of downtown on Monument Circle. This is just starting. So Bobby "Slick" Leonard, of course, the legendary Pacers coach during the glory days of the ABA, and he and his wife Nancy certainly very responsible for the Indiana Pacers staying in Indianapolis. And Slick Leonard won 529 games during his brilliant career and was just a legend. He was honored tonight in a celebration of life event that took place over at nearby Bankers Life Fieldhouse. His family, former players, his broadcasting partner, all paying tribute to the great Bobby "Slick" Leonard tonight. And really one of the things I thought that was cool as we're looking at these live pictures that are on the side of the IPL building at Monument Circle He was honored tonight as the gentle giant. His wife called him Bob. Didn't really call him Slick, didn't call him Bobby, called him Bob because Nancy Leonard has known Slick. They've been together 70 years. They met at IU. He was a basketball legend at IU Bloomington. Of course, won a national championship there. And tonight we heard about Grandpa Bob with his 12 grandchildren. He was called a true legend, a fierce competitor. Obviously, the 529 total wins with the Pacers. Family was everything to him, as we learned in that celebration of life tonight, and proud of all of his grandkids. So this is going to be on the side of the IPL building until about midnight tonight in tribute, Angela, to Bobby Slick Leonard.
That is great, and I love what they do with the side of that building, and this is appropriate, more than appropriate for Slick Leonard.
It was neat at the end. A couple of things struck me as I was watching the celebration of life that was streamed tonight. Couple things. Number one was Bobby Slick Leonard, of course, was known for Boom Baby, and so his family got up on stage and had the crowd of about 1,500, because that's all they were allowed to bring in to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, all chanted Boom Baby 3 times. So I thought that was outstanding. And then they ended tonight by having Nancy Leonard and Bobby Slick Leonard on the piano, and Bobby Slick Leonard singing Back Home Again in Indiana. It was poignant, it was wonderful, and those of us who have grown up around the Pacers organization and have loved Bobby Slick Leonard, that was a real treat, was to hear him singing Back Home Again in Indiana. Really a thrill tonight.
Well, I didn't get a chance to see it, but you just explaining it gave me chills. So I can imagine those that were in the building and then because they couldn't be in the building, got to see it streamed live. Probably same sentiment.
Yeah, it was great. All right, coming up in a minute, we'll get more with Angela in terms of the forecast. So we're going to say goodbye to Angela for at least a minute or so. And we're going to bring in a friend of the show, Lauren Kostick, tonight, because our big story coverage coming up on 13 News at 11 is the idea that the Pfizer vaccine is now one step closer to being available for kids 12 and up. And Lauren really wanted to dig in tonight on what this means for parents. So if parents can now start signing their children up for the Pfizer vaccine, so this is the 2-shot dose. Lauren, tell us what you've learned tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So you can start signing up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So we're, less than, a day away. So this will be all happening tomorrow morning. And those appointments will open up on ourshot.in.gov. So just the same way we've been signing up. Or, of course, you can call 211 to do that. But the other big thing is that you can also just walk into any clinic, but you want to make sure that clinic has the Pfizer vaccine. So your child, your teen can make sure they get the right vaccine. So this will be happening tomorrow, but kind of different than if you or me went to go get our shot. You will need to have an adult with you if you're, between 12 to 18, if you're a minor. And you'll also have to have your parents' consent. So, Dr. Box was saying today during the briefing, if your parent is unable to go with you because of a job or work, you can have another adult go with you, but make sure you have your parental consent in a written form. You might have heard Milo, he's in the background, he's impatient. And you will also have to have proof of age, just like we all have to. So since you don't have an ID, if you're under 16, you can do a birth certificate or your passport. So there's a few options there, and the state also has a few different ones if you don't have a passport or you can't find your birth certificate by tomorrow. So there's a lot of different ways, but the big thing that the state was pushing, state health leaders, they said, a huge perk of this is that if you're vaccinated and fully vaccinated 2 weeks after, you don't have to quarantine. And that's a really big deal for a lot of these students who have been through so much in the past year. And they won't have to miss out on their sporting events or the end of the year events that happen at school. So try to, if you can, get in there, get your shot, and try to do that before summer starts.
Yeah, that's good reminder, and we'll look forward to watching your story coming up at 11 o'clock over on 13 News. All right, before we say goodbye to you, got to see Milo. Is Milo close by?
He was just under me, and now he decided to hide.
Doesn't he usually hide under the couch? Isn't that where he usually hides out when I'm on?
Yeah, now he's so funny. 1 second.
See, look, you don't get this when you watch us at 5, 6, and 11. You only get this here on Facebook, where the reporter gets up out of their seat and goes and finds their dog and brings them over. Milo's getting big, so you Facebook friends that have been with us for many months now know that this puppy is getting big. Look how big Milo is.
Oh my gosh. You know where he was hiding today? Under
Where's
the bed.
On the bed, you say?
Under the bed.
Under the bed, okay.
Milo
always knows at 10 o'clock he's going to be doing Facebook Live, so maybe he's just camera shy, but boy, what a good-looking dog that is.
You want a treat? He went to the dog park, so he's a little tired today.
That's awesome. Well, Milo, you look great, my friend. So good to see you. Enjoy that treat. And Lauren, we'll look forward to watching your story tonight on 13 News at 11. Remember, Milo's on Instagram, too, so you can follow Milo on Instagram. It's just the best. I love Milo. All right. And we love Lauren, too. All right, let's bring Angela back and find out a little bit about that. I'm interested just in your thoughts here as you're hearing, Pfizer now one step closer to being available for kids 12 and up.
Yeah, and we're getting a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah.
One comment, children get a lot of vaccines already, so are we adding, another one on top of, the regimen they get as they grow older?
Measles, mumps,
yep.
rubella, chicken pox, that kind of thing, polio.
And then, on occasion, the flu shot.
Yep.
If you're one of those that gets the flu shot. So that was a comment. And you've got some interesting stats coming up at 11 as far as the amount of population that we're dealing with as far as adding that 12 to 15 on top of the 16 and up that are already eligible.
Yeah, the goal here is herd immunity. We've talked about this for many months, trying to get somewhere between 70 and 90% of the population vaccinated. If you get that done, in theory, then the vaccine or the coronavirus has nowhere to go.
Sure.
And so getting these younger people vaccinated is a key in terms of trying to get closer to that herd immunity.
Yeah. Lots of comments, too, about Bobby Slick Leonard.
Yeah.
And the crying in Bloomington was one that came from, is it Shelby? Shelby, yep, we're crying over here in Bloomington.
Yeah.
We had a Jennings County check-in.
Nice.
And I think and an Evansville check-in.
Beautiful.
And
okay.
I think I have to apologize, in Muncie, to Tanya in Frankfurt, because I'm quite sure I've called her Tanya.
Okay.
So,
well, hi, Tanya. We
I
love
got
you.
it right
We're
tonight.
glad that you're with us.
She spelled it out for me, because I know just by looking at it, I'm sure I have called her Tanya. But we always appreciate Tanya in Clinton County for checking in with us.
Nice. Okay. We want to end tonight with a fun story. We want to continue our journey to Tokyo. We're 72 days away from the Summer Olympics that you'll see over on NBC and Channel 13. And tonight, in our pre-pandemic visit to the Olympic host country, I walked across the street. In fact, I did so many times for this story. Check it out. Those seeking serenity in Japan won't be disappointed. Quiet, peaceful retreats can be found throughout the Olympic host country. Picturesque places that one can savor in solitude. But here in Tokyo, it's a different story. There are 9 million residents here, countless tourists, all moving about in Japan's bustling capital. Here,
it's an incredibly big crowd.
You're never alone.
A lot of people.
Especially when you cross the street.
All right, guys, so here we go.
Welcome to Shibuya Crossing. What is Shibuya Crossing?
Well, according to many, it's the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world.
Every 2 minutes, the adventure begins.
Something like 3,000 people every time.
They're going this way and that way.
There are people coming.
Thousands of people.
This is complicated, actually.
All crossing at the same time. So crossing the sidewalk in Tokyo is a thing.
Yeah, in Shibuya.
In Shibuya. Shibuya is a popular shopping and entertainment district of Tokyo. The famous Shibuya Crossing is actually 5 crosswalks located at one very famous intersection.
This is like a giant human wave.
They all look like ants, and everybody's crossing through each other.
People don't just cross it once. They go back and forth,
Yeah.
trying to get the perfect photo, right?
That's right, that's right.
Put your cell phone and film the crossing while you're walking.
More than anything, people are just here to take pictures of themselves and of the place, because what people really want to see is the chaos around us, right? And actually, there's a couple guys doing jumping jacks behind us right now. So there you go. That's an example of what people do here.
Professional photographers have a field day at Shibuya Crossing.
I've seen performance art. I've seen people get engaged in the crossing, wedding-style photo shoots with a full-on, wedding gown. You see a lot of crazy stuff.
So if you're looking for a serene spot in Japan where you're the only one around, you can find that. But if you prefer a crowd,
It's a crazy crossing.
come join the organized chaos.
Not just straight or not just like right to left. Just people from all over.
Getting across the street has never been so much fun. So can you imagine if crossing the street at 10th and Meridian here in downtown Indianapolis was as fun as Shibuya Crossing?
No, and those crosswalks that you can all go at once
Right.
always confuse me. They've got a couple up at Purdue. One other campus we toured with Luke on the East Coast. I think that was the first time I walked diagonal. I thought, what are we doing? So no, I can't imagine being in Tokyo.
It was so much fun, and we have more stories on the way for you. In fact, the next story that we're going to be bringing you here, I think it's in a week or so, is about a DJ monk, a monk at a Buddhist temple that found that visitors were not coming to his temple. And so as a young man, he was a DJ, and so he's now pumping the beats into the temple, and boy, the people are flocking there to check it out. So that's another story coming up here on our journey to Tokyo as we get very excited to bring you the Summer Olympics. Angela.
Yeah, they're getting close. I can't believe it.
Yeah. All right, so for folks that may have missed our forecast at the beginning, what's our wake-up weather tomorrow?
Wake-up weather is cool, but not as cold as the last couple of nights. We'll be in the upper 30s, low 40s for lows, so a patch or two of frost in the outlying areas. Otherwise, it's going to be a nice warm-up from 45 at 8 a.m. to 62 at noon. Eventual high temperatures, mid-60s, which will be a few degrees warmer than what we had today, and we'll inch closer to 70 on Friday and for the upcoming weekend, so I'll have those numbers and some interesting stats about just how long it's been since we've had a 70-degree day.
I don't even remember what it was like to have 70 degrees here in Indiana.
It's been quite the chilly stretch.
It has. Again, thanks to Anita watching tonight, Teresa, Janice, Deanna watching tonight, Rebecca is with us, Wilbur is with us tonight, Shelby, so many of our Facebook friends joining us. So thank you so much for watching. We're with you every night, 10 o'clock, right here on the Facebook page. And then, of course, Angela and I will see you tonight on 13 News at 11. Good night.